Welcome back to Storytime Recap. Today, I will talk about a horror drama movie titled Cam. Without further ado, let's get started. For a living, Alice Ackerman uses the screen name Lola Lola to perform sexually explicit live concerts in her home studio on the website Free Girls Live. She is completely preoccupied with where she stands on the site and would do anything to overtake the current #1 cam girl, Baby Girl. Her mom thinks she does web development and has no idea what she actually does. Alice's younger brother Jordan is aware of her secret occupation and has agreed to keep it quiet in exchange for his assurances that Alice will one day tell their mother the truth. One night, during a performance, an unknown someone urges her to cut herself with a knife. She has blocked the user, but he keeps coming back with more and more unsettling requests. Her popularity and number of viewers skyrocket as users alternately urge her to complete the suicide and beg her to change her mind. She gives in and slashes her throat on video, only to later disclose that it was all fake using makeup. As her stream comes to a close, she gets a call from a fan she calls Tinkerboy, but whose true name is Arnold. The chat that follows reveals that the anonymous user who was trying to talk her into suicide was actually Arnold and that the two of them orchestrated the meeting to boost Lola's profile. Arnold admits he is job hunting and possibly leaving California. Next, Alice receives a call from another devoted Lola supporter, Barney, and cuts off Arnold's conversation suddenly. She runs into Arnold at the party supply store where she shops for Jordan's birthday party. Despite their silence, it's evident they recognize each other. Later, Alice has a video conversation with Fox, another cam girl, and the two of them talk shop about how to rise in the ranks. Fox that they meet at Cam Female Clubhouse for a control show, in which one girl inserts a vibrator into the other and controls it with a remote. The Vibratron, an extraordinarily potent vibrator, is what Alice proposes employing. Despite Fox's protests, Alice insists that she will be the one to try out the vibrator. Still, Fox won't budge. Alice and Barney have another video chat later that evening. She tells him she'll be in town the following week and suggests they meet up. Before Barney abruptly signs out, she jots down the time and place. Alice makes it into the top 50 on her next episode. She starts to thank her viewers excitedly and celebrate, but her rank quickly lowers, and she learns that Princess X, a rival cam girl who has a strict no-nude policy, has threatened to strip in front of the camera if Lola's rank drops back to 60. Unhappily for Princess, Lola now has a lower age limit of 59. When Lola finally thanks her audience, she does so awkwardly. After that, Arnold calls her up on her cell phone to be sympathetic but still disdainful of Princess. Since she only provided him with her number in case of an emergency, Alice questions why he is calling her on her personal phone instead of FGL. Arnold reveals that his concerns arose when Alice continuously disregarded his FGL calls. Alice then has him verify that he was, in fact, the person she had seen earlier in the day at the store. Arnold explains that he has accepted a position in Alice's state and is now sleeping in a motel while looking for a more permanent dwelling. Arnold argues that his transfer to Alice's state was purely coincidental, but Alice is clearly uneasy about the prospect. She hangs up on him before she can call Fox and tell them they have to perform the control show. Alice encounters Princess X and another cam girl, Lucky Duck, at Cam Girl Clubhouse. The two girls make fun of her and coyly wish her well on the program. Alice's ranking has risen to number 47 after a successful control display. After waking up the next day, Alice tries to access her FGL account, only to discover that her credentials have been changed. She discovers that the Lola account is still operational and showing live content when she does a search for that name. She watches the stream on a spare account because she can't help herself, and she sees a person who looks and acts exactly like her having fun in the tub with some bubbles and toys. Nervously, she opens the door to her studio after hearing her own voice coming from inside, only to discover that she is alone and that the TV in her studio is showing the stream. Alice thinks the site is rerunning old episodes of shows, so she contacts customer support, who reassures her that this is not the case. Alice tries to identify the date of the bathtub broadcast in her calendar, on which she has written a brief description of each live stream for every day, but she is unable. The FGL support team argues they are powerless to intervene because the account is active and the performers identified as a perfect match. Using an old account, Alice sends a message to the chat claiming to be the genuine Lola and pointing out that FGL is airing an old episode again. Then, Alice makes a new profile and calls it Mr. Teapot. After her attempts to privately communicate Lola are unsuccessful, she sends a message to the group chat demanding an explanation. After reading the messages, Lola welcomes the new user by name, establishing that the stream is genuine. Alice, bewildered and frightened, decides to leave the river. At a later meeting with Lucky Duck and Fox, Alice explains the situation by playing a live stream in which the imposter Lola is naked and covered in marker scribbles. Alice disproves Lucky Duck and Fox's skepticism by tipping Lola and asking her to speak Orange, to which Lola responds in the affirmative. The real Lola is waiting for Princess X when she arrives, and she immediately recognizes her when she sees the stream. She makes a remark about how odd things are but quickly shrugs it off. Alice suggests that Princess is the one responsible for the account hijacking, but Princess denies this, saying that if she were going to go to the bother of doing something like that, she would only target someone in the top 10. Alice storms off in a huff. Alice calls FGL customer assistance the next day while out buying Jordan a birthday present to find out where her report stands. The agent tells her that her access code is not valid after she shares it with them. When Alice requests to speak with a manager, the front desk clerk says he can't let her in since he can't confirm her identification. She hangs up on him when he asks her to calm down after she demands that he do more to aid her. Alice gives Jordan presents to her mother at the salon. Then Arnold arrives, flowers in hand, and politely requests an introduction to her mom. After a brief conversation, Alice abruptly cuts him off. Arnold thinks he's losing it since Alice allegedly told him she loves him and wants to start a real-life relationship with him during yesterday night's private cam session. Alice has broken one of her self-imposed rules by not expressing her love for any of her fans. Lola, seeing that Arnold's double was behind the secret cam session, storms out of the salon and angrily insists to Arnold that she did not speak to him the previous evening. In the evening, Alice tries to start over with a new account, but she is denied access because her ID is already on file. Alice breaks another of her own rules by tuning into a Lola live stream in which the fictitious Lola masturbates and exposes herself in a public library. Following the party, some of Jordan's pals watch the stream on Girls 4 Download, a website where fans may submit their own copies of old Family Guy episodes for others to enjoy. The males uncomfortably greet Alice as she arrives with the cake, and then they proceed to laugh and make fun of her behind her back as she leaves. Jordan and his friend Alex burst in as they are finishing off the cake, and Jordan tries to grab a phone from Alex's hand. In the middle of Alex's blatant announcement that Alice does porn, Alice's mother picks up the phone and watches the stream. Alice tries to apologize to her mother after the party goes silent, but her mother says nothing and instead starts getting the cake ready and singing happy birthday to Jordan. Alice exits the party in tears as everyone else awkwardly joins in. Later that night, the doppelganger Lola hosts a workout show with an 80s theme. When Alice sees that Lola's ranking has reached 31, she becomes enraged. In her wrath, she makes several poor decisions, such as buying tokens to tip the phony Lola and convincing her to punish herself so hard that she gets bruises. The imposter Lola then trolls the crowd with BDSM equipment before pulling a revolver from her holster. Meanwhile, Lola's ranking keeps rising into the top 20 as she recklessly plays with the gun. She offers to shoot herself in the mouth for 100,000 tokens, as the real Alice watches in fear. The plan succeeds, and the phony Lola shoots herself in the mouth, causing Alice to have a nervous breakdown. Later, Lola stands up and reveals that the suicide was an act. Alice, inconsolable, tries to call Fox but gets his voicemail. When two police officers show up at her house, neither one of them is really helpful. One of them flirts with her by asking more intrusive questions about her employment, while the other suggests that Alice just stop using the internet altogether to avoid problems like these. Next, the imposter Lola promotes an upcoming concert featuring Baby Girl. Alice tunes into Baby's stream and tries to chat with her, but to no avail. When Baby repeats statements from the false Lola's live streams verbatim, such as needing to get laid and wanting to burn her house down so a fireman would take pity on her, she becomes skeptical. If Fox knows anything about Baby, including her real name or whereabouts, Alice wants to hear it from her. Fox mocks her, then hangs up on her without further explanation. Alice and Barney have a date the next day. While out to lunch together, Alice deftly manipulates Barney into spilling the beans about Baby's hometown and high school crowning. She walks to the restroom to check her phone for further information, but while she's there, Lola begins airing. Alice retreats to the restroom while Barney confronts her, accusing her of trying to cheat him by concealing her true identity. Barney insists that they can still have some fun if Alice comes clean about who she really is. Barney attacks Alice when she tries to run away, but she escapes after biting his hand, which he had used to cover her mouth. Alice utilizes the clues offered by Barney during Lola and Baby's webcast to determine that Baby's real name is Hannah Darren. She Googles her name and learns that Hannah died in a vehicle accident around 6 months ago. Alice concludes that the baby she is seeing online is a duplicate and that the same entity that generated the Lola copy is also responsible for the baby copy. While broadcasting, the doppelgangers of Baby and Lola expose private details about Alice, such as the layout of the rest of her house beyond the studio. After revealing Jordan's name, the phony Lola begins posting infant images of Alice online. It upsets Alice so much that she smashes her laptop. When Alice returns to the house where she grew up, she finds that it has been vandalized with offensive graffiti. When confronted by her mother inside, Alice says she always intended to be good enough before telling her the truth about her employment. Her mother has told Alice that she has seen some of the live streams and that she finds the boldness she displays as Lola to be refreshing in comparison to her normally reserved and sheltered daughter. Alice attempts to tell her mom that the person she portrays on the live streams isn't the real her, but she can't get past the fact that Lola is just a character she plays. She tries to support her case by showing her mother a live stream, but the phony Lola is not now available. Then Jordan walks in, but he ignores Alice even after she begs him to talk to her. After the real Hannah Darren's death, Alice uses the public library's computer to look for additional camgirls she believes to be doppelgangers, namely by looking for joint shows recorded by Baby. She deduces that Arnold is the best friend of each of the false girls, so she goes looking for him in the motel he mentioned earlier. She sobs and begs for his forgiveness for her rudeness before. From care for her welfare, he extends an invitation to spend the night at his motel. After dozing off, Alice is rudely awoken by the sound of Arnold's masturbation in the midst of a late-night webcam encounter with Lola. Alice, outraged, tasers Arnold and demands explanations. He admits that he is aware of the doubles and that he can often predict which women will be duplicated next, but he swears that the copies are not his fault and that he has no idea how or why they manifest. Despite his protestations of innocence, he declares his love for her. Alice walks into the bathroom where hurt Arnold is lying and starts a conversation with the fictitious Lola via his laptop. Lola meets her and inquires as to whether or not she is Arnold's girlfriend, making no mention of the striking resemblance between them. Inferring from this, Alice concludes that the creature has no idea what it is copying. Arnold, understandably upset, begs her to stay, but she leaves quickly. Alice then returns home, where she arranges her mirror, camera, and television in a way that produces the illusion of numerous versions of herself. In a private chat with the imposter Lola, the latter recognizes her as Tinker's girlfriend before realizing the two women are identical twins. Alice encourages her to position her monitor in front of her vanity mirror and that she go live so everyone can see how lovely they look together. The double Lolas are dismissed by the audience as CGI, to which the fake Lola responds gleefully. Alice challenges Lola to a game of imitating each other. The audience votes on who they think did the better job, and the victor gets to make any request of the loser. After Lola tells her viewers she loves them and blows them a kiss to claim victory in the first round, she demands that Alice strip for her. After that, Alice hits her nose on her desk and gets a hemorrhage. When Lola appears with her face unharmed, Alice is able to convince her audience that the other Lola is not real. The special effects makeup Lola uses to make her face bleed on demand is sure to leave an impression on her audience. As she continues to pound her face against the desk, Alice breaks her nose. She's been proclaimed the victor and is now demanding Lola's login details. Alice warns Lola that if she declines, her audience would never trust her again. After realizing that the crowd has voted to demote her from 3rd to 4th place, Lola sends Alice a direct message containing her password. After Lola's post has climbed to the top spot, Alice deletes it from Lola's account. Later, while Alice is getting ready to go live on Twitch, her mom gives her a makeover. Alice tells her mom that she will continue to duplicate her accounts if something similar happens again. Alice is exposed as using a phony ID that lists her as Emily Ramsey. Using the handle EveBot, she makes a new profile. There's a dramatic cliffhanger at the end of the film. Eve starts her first live stream. Tell us what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.